will you commit to the Canadians that need this coverage that this Pharmacare is providing, that you will not topple the Liberal government until they have the coverage?
There's lots going on here in Canada. Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David, and today's top stories, we've got Jagmeet Singh asked if he's going to topple the government because his Pharmacare bill went through. Now it actually needs to be implemented. And so he's done a press conference here. He's pressed on this, whether he will topple the government if Trudeau doesn't implement his Pharmacare plan that now has royal assent. We've also got Conservative Michael Barrett absolutely humiliating Liberal Adam Van Koeverden in the House. We've got Stephen Guilbeault making bonehead comments. Also, TD Bank is getting sued for billions for money laundering. Let's jump into this. We're starting off strong here with Michael Barrett. It says here, never insult the Conservatives' intelligence while dressed like a clown.
Thousand Island and Rideau Lakes.
Parliament's budget watchdog has confirmed yet again that Canadians pay more in carbon tax than they get back in so-called rebates.
Because on page 1 of the report, it says right here that Canadians will see a net gain, receiving more from the Canada carbon rebate than the total amount they pay in the federal fuel charge. Mr. Speaker, just flip to page 7. It's a bit long. I know the Member of Parliament might have a bit of a difficult time with it.
Not only did I read the report, I actually paid some attention when I dressed myself this morning, unlike that scene over there.
He's not wrong, is he? I mean, look how he's dressed here. Like, what is this? What is this tie? Where did he get this kind of suit? This guy's always dressed like a goof, just like Guilbeault. Is it a mandate that all the environment ministers have to look like an idiot? Like, he changes his tie after that. I think he did, because there's another press conference and he's still wearing this suit, but he's got a different tie on. It was beautiful, wasn't it? So you think it's okay to derail serious conversation by insulting the way someone dresses? He insulted him first, that's why. He said he's basically insulting his intelligence that he didn't read the report. You can't have it both ways. Next up, we got Captain Schmuck in Laos. He's at the SN convention here, conference. Look how fake this is, him grabbing his heart. Oh, drama class. Like, come on. No one believes this man. This is the fakest face I've ever seen in my life. I bet he loves this. Just all these people swarming him like he's some sort of god. Canada is a great place to launder money. We'll get to that next. And he still refuses to hand over the documents. You know how crooked that makes him look, right? Such a poser. Next up, we got some money laundering here from TD Bank. This is big news. This is coming out of America. The American government here is suing the crap out of TD.
Today, TD Bank pled guilty to multiple felonies, including conspiring to violate the Bank Secrecy Act and commit money laundering. TD Bank has also agreed to a $1.8 billion criminal penalty. Combined with civil enforcement actions announced today by other agencies, the United States will be imposing a total of approximately $3 billion against TD Bank.
Wow.
TD Bank created an environment that allowed financial crime to flourish. By making its services convenient for criminals, it became one. Today, TD Bank became the largest bank in U.S. history to plead guilty to Bank Secrecy Act program failures and the first bank in history to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. This is also the largest ever penalty under the Bank Secrecy Act and the first time the Justice Department has assessed a daily fine against a bank. The Justice Department has also prosecuted 24 individuals for their involvement in money laundering schemes that moved over $670 million in illicit funds through TD Bank accounts. So far, the Justice Department has charged 2 TD Bank employees for their involvement in one of these schemes.
This is crazy. So TD Bank, you know, where's Justin Trudeau? Is he going to step up here and then do the same thing in Canada, or just kind of let it slide? As someone who used to work in notary office with my ex-wife, we had $10 to $12 million of deals go through the office. There's a lot of shady banks in Canada. There's a lot of dirty money coming from China into the real estate industry. That's all I'm going to say. Next up, we got this press conference with Jagmeet. He's questioned about toppling the government multiple times. I just want to share this first clip. This is him walking in. He doesn't think that it's already recording, which is pretty funny.
See the casual look on Fridays. I did not see this before. Okay. Wow, I did not know that. Maybe I feel overdressed now. He's like, no, I don't believe in that. I hope none of this is going on air. This is not the most professional.
So he just goes on to say, Pharmacare pass. He's happy about it.
Folks, I'm actually very excited. Probably you can tell from my little excited demeanor. We have been able to achieve something New Democrats have fought for generations. This has been a long dream of New Democrats since Tommy Douglas.
It's to get that insulin. 90% of Canadians already have coverage through private means, but he really should have focused on a Pharmacare plan that covers the people who aren't covered versus a single payer that tries to take away coverage. Moving on here, he's then now questioned by the reporters after his long spiel.
Just as a follow-up quick, will you commit to the Canadians that need this coverage that this Pharmacare is providing, that you will not topple the Liberal government until they have the coverage?
Our focus is making sure people get help. We want to make sure that people actually get the benefit of this law. And so we are going to now focus on putting pressure on the Liberals to actually sign agreements. We want to see that happen. I want to see people have free medication when it comes to diabetes and free birth control. I want to see that happen.
Mr. Poilievre says that Pharmacare is a bad deal for union workers because it will result in the elimination of drug plans negotiated as part of collective agreements. What do you make of that criticism?
Pierre Poilievre is telling on himself that he has no idea what unions actually do. Unions are very much in favor of this. Workers are very much in favor of this because they know that having to negotiate medical benefits that include drug coverage on the negotiating table or at the negotiating table is incredibly costly. They would love to have this taken off of their table, their plate, and use that money for better pay, better wages, or other benefits. They are very much in favor of this. And it shows that Pierre Poilievre has no idea what working people actually care about because unions and labor movement have been demanding universal pharmacare for a long time.
Or would they just not give them the extra pay raise and keep the money for themselves in the business? Jagmeet doesn't have a rock-solid argument here. When people have already negotiated for good pharmacare and then be forced to have crappy pharmacare with a single-payer plan, that doesn't give them leverage to go back and say, well, I want all that value back put on my paycheck now. All it does is it forces people to have worse pharmacare coverage.
How are you planning on forcing the Liberals into these deals when you said yourself yesterday you're not talking to them? So what tools do you have if you're not talking to them to force them into this?
We're here at a press conference. We're letting people know that this is now signed, and I'm letting the public know that the Liberals dragged their feet on this. Justin Trudeau did not want to do this. It was a fight. It was a battle. Now that the bill is passed, I can tell you, it took everything that we could muster to fight them and fight Justin Trudeau to get to this point. He did not want to move forward on this bill. He did not want to move forward on Pharmacare. He did not want to cover medications for people living with diabetes or birth control. He did not want to do any of this. We had to force them to do it. And so now I'm telling a message directly to Justin Trudeau.
So you don't do anything in the House of Commons or in Parliament? This is where you work now. You have a press conference, you call out Trudeau and what you want, and that's it? Just go home, play with your kids? What is this? This is him talking to Trudeau?
Don't do the same thing when it comes to negotiations. Like, people need to know this bill is passed, but the only way that someone sitting in Ontario right now, someone in Saskatchewan right now is actually going to benefit from this. Someone in the Atlantic provinces, the only way they're actually going to benefit from this law that's been passed is if Justin Trudeau signs agreements. So I'm letting the public know, and I'm letting Justin Trudeau know, next step has to be signing agreements.
Come on, dude. Nobody's buying this. These guys have a deal in the background. He's talking with Trudeau daily about this stuff. I don't buy it for a minute. This is just public posturing. So they go into French after that, but later on they ask him one more time.
You have leverage in Parliament right now. You're the leader of the fourth party. You can still help prop up the government if you wanted to get more extractions of things like additional drugs and pharmacare, but you've chosen not to speak with them right now. Just strategically, can you explain why you're not even negotiating with the Liberals right now to try and get more things out of them?
Well, we're letting Justin Trudeau know right now what we want to see happen. We want to see deals signed. I want to see people get access to free medication when they're living with diabetes. I want to see free birth control happen.
This is such a joke, Jagmeet. If you really want to do this, then you should say, I want to get the first province signed by November 15th or whatever it is. Like an actual plan, not just, hey, I'm holding a press conference, sign some provinces. This is stupid. If you actually even came on here and said, okay, I want to see Newfoundland signed by the 15th of November, blah, 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 and you need to be in talks with 3 other provinces by the end of the year, something like that. At least it's something. This is nothing. This is a whole lot of nothing.
So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know right now, I'm letting the government know right now, you dragged your feet to get us to this point. We had to fight you every step of the way. Don't drag your feet when it comes to negotiations. Start negotiating now, and let's get those deals signed.
Is this like an overriding, sorry, exactly my question, is that an overriding confidence measure right now? If you want us to count on our support going forward, you have to sign agreements with the provinces to get this program implemented.
When it comes to confidence zones, we've been very clear. We're going to look at each vote as it comes. But I'm letting people know that right now, after this bill, this historic bill has been passed into law, it is now the law of the land. I want to see these deals signed. So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know, I'm letting the government know, get the deal signed. Let's make sure people get access to free birth control and free diabetes medication. Merci. Thank you.
If he doesn't sign the deals, will you take him down?
He needs to answer that question. Saying he's going to go on a vote-by-vote basis, come on, man. We're not buying that. You still have the deal with him. It's just not public anymore. So there's a new PBO report that came out that he was using in the House of Commons, and then it came out that he was once again lying, and so now he's getting grilled on it. Basically, why did he just drop the carbon tax and increase those measures in the industrial sector?
PBO report also says that the industrial price on pollution is not only less costly, but it also reduces emissions by significantly more than the consumer price. Is there a way, why can't you, get rid of the consumer price and just strengthen the industrial price to make up for those emissions at a much lesser cost?
Our plan has more than 100 measures, and no single measure will enable us to achieve our 2030 targets. We need everything. And the consumer portion of carbon pricing is very important. It's going to provide at least 13 million tons. That's the equivalent of removing from our road 26 million vehicles by 2030. It's an important component. Yes, the industrial system gives us more emission reduction, but we need everything to get.
Less costly, so why not make up those emissions by strengthening the industrial
we are doing that. We've strengthened the industrial pricing system a little over a year ago. We're looking at what we could do furthermore going into the future. But if I start removing measures, then you'll be the first one to tell me, well, Minister, you're going further away from your targets. That simply doesn't work.
This guy is so entrenched with China and with the corruption of that whole carbon tax garbage. They know this is just a big tax that they're just squeezing us for. And remember I said Adam Vancouver and switched his tie, that comment and said that. Well, there it is. He was wearing that goofy yellow tie. Now he's got a goofy blue one, which looks terrible with this hideous blazer. What is this guy doing? He's a member of Parliament. Even Stephen Guilbeault is dressed normal today. Next up, we got this one here. It says Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly accuses Conservatives of endangering the rights of women and girls. This is pretty crude. Suggesting that some Conservative members hold far-right views that threaten freedoms. Are we not shocked here? It's Brenda Shanahan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
United Nations, we heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs say that often the people who claim to speak for freedom are the same people who want the government to decide who people can love, who they are, or even what they can wear. We see it in our country. We see it around the world. In Afghanistan, we see it taken to its extreme as the Taliban continues to impose inhumane rules against women and girls. Today, on the International Day of the Girl, I asked the Minister of Foreign Affairs if she can reaffirm our government's commitment to girls.
So these are one of these queued up stupid questions they do so then the government can answer their own liberal question. They're just pumping their own tires.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canada's a country that values freedom from oppression, not freedom to oppress others. The rights of women and girls, including the right to choose, is put in danger by the far right, including some of the members of the Conservative opposition. A Liberal government will always support and protect women's rights and girls' rights, here at home and around the world. So along with Germany, Australia, and the Netherlands, we will hold the Taliban regime accountable for their violations of women and girls' rights in Afghanistan. We will always be there for women at home and around the world. Thank you.
She is just an absolute airhead. Meanwhile, they've got a bunch of these Sharia law people they're bringing into our country who don't respect women's rights. It's quite the opposite. And she has the audacity to say this in the House of Commons. The party was literally told by the courts that they're actually infringing on human rights when they imposed the Emergencies Act. Yeah, no kidding. How will she fare under Sharia law? Exactly. How many women fall for this hogwash? I wonder if the demographics of her riding place a high priority on whether rights of women and girls are protected. The hypocrisy of liberals knows no bounds. Next up, we've got student union. They came here as students. Once finished your course, you're no longer students and your stay in Canada is over. Gather your belongings and head home. So these people they're wanting to stay.
Good enough to stay. Good enough to stay. Good enough to stay. Good enough to stay.
So newsflash, guys, we don't have jobs here. That is the problem. That's why you have to go home. We have no jobs, and you're taking all of the jobs from young Canadians. It's not fair to our people. I'm sorry. We don't have enough jobs. You have to start your own businesses. And I think that's if they're able to start businesses, but even then, that's not the proper way to do it. Canadians have to come in through the proper channels and not just Willy Wonka way of slipping in through the student program. So it's time to go home, guys. Next up, we got fight breaks out at dump site in Brampton, Ontario.
Round one.
Okay, we're gonna turn off that audio. Oh, it's a clown world now. Next up, we got this loser, David Eby. Listen to what he says here. It's appalling. Next up, we got a pretty wild hit and run. Check this out. This is in Brampton. Everything comes from Brampton now.
Look. They're trying to drive off.
They're trying to drive off.
Yeah, they're trying to drive off.
Like this.
Oh my God.
It turned on. Dude, they can't even see.
My engine is gone. They're trying to drive off. Brother!
There's like green liquid down here. Antifreeze coolant, all sorts of stuff. This is ridiculous.
Brother, if you want me to get froggy with you right now, shut the car off. Watch my truck. Shut, yo, hold on.
These guys wanted to drive away after hitting someone. I'm sorry. Hit and run. It's jail time. It's like Brampton needs a 24/7 live channel, especially for all this nonsense that happens every day. It's something that related to Brampton. Yeah, it's kind of what I pointed out here. In some lighter news, maybe not lighter news, we got Elon Musk with his new Optimus robots, and they're full-fledged robots now that can do things.
The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them. They'll serve drinks at the bar.
So here they are.
A robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started with someone in a robot suit, sort of down. And then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids, it can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That also could get really dark.
I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. They'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people wanting these as employees, you know, and say in factories and doing all that kind of stuff. Even just in your own mom and pop shop, out in the back, building things or making things or whatever. Construction jobs, who knows? So we got some more footage here from the event itself. Of them actually pouring drinks and whatever. This is so weird.
Sweet. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're not gonna have that music in there, but the robots can dance. So there's music in there, but yeah. That is a functioning robot.
Saying it's even talking.
Say hi to my friend John. John? Where's John?
Right here.
Oh, hello, John.
How are you?
How you doing? Very good.
That's crazy. I'm
Where
talking to a
are you
robot. From San Jose. Probably from where you were born in Silicon Valley.
Wonderful. Where do you live in San Jose? Do you live in Almaden Valley, or do you live in the Santa Teresa area?
No, I live in Los Gatos.
Los Gatos. Oh, wonderful. Very
Yeah.
Nice area.
Where do you live?
Beautiful hiking I hear out there.
There is. Where do you live?
I live in Palo Alto at the current moment.
Figures. Yeah, this is awesome.
That's where they train us. That's where we get our builds, and that's where we work with a wonderful group.
This is kind of creepy. I'll be honest, a little creepy. Well, there you have it. Jagmeet Singh, he seems like he's very much going to keep supporting Trudeau. He's probably going to bail him out. Trudeau might bring in that motion of closure to the documents, and Jagmeet might bail him out here. It really seems like he's still, despite the facade there, he has no intention of not supporting him. I think that pension, you know, there hasn't been as much talk about Jagmeet's pension lately, but I mean, think about it. We're here at almost mid-October. His pension is only a couple months away. We're talking a couple $1,000,000 a couple months away. He's not saying no to that. I think he's going to do anything Trudeau needs to get him to that pension in February.